Hey, it's me again. Just a quick detour, because I want to discuss something real fast here. Because I've seen a lot of people debating online on whether or not Astra Yao's WEngine is actually better than her Mindscape, or her Mindscape is actually better than her WEngine. And I just want to discuss this real fast. Is that you should either pull for Astra Yao's Mindscape or Weapon first. So if you're like me and you already pull for Astra Yao, like I did here, so, should you get her WEngine or her Mindscape next if you're a really big Astra Yao simp? Well, to be honest, neither, actually. Before we begin, let's just look at how we play Astra Yao first, and then we can discuss further into our little detail here.
It's that easy.
Obviously, there are more things to go, in depth about, but for the sake of this video, and I just want to make it short, that's all you're getting. So good luck. So I want to discuss something real fast. Is that, like I said, her WEngine and her Mindscape One. So let's look at both the pros and cons of the two. First off, let's move on to her WEngine real quick here. Now I know this is quite a lot of text, but all you need to know from this is basically whenever you quick switch an agent, Astra Yao basically gains 5 energy, which is pretty decent, right? Because her advanced stat doesn't have energy regen, so she has to get energy somewhere. And basically, she gives out 10% damage increase up to 2 times, which is basically 20% extra damage. Only if you're consuming energy, but you're doing it like most of the time anyway, so you always have a 10% up to 20% chance of dealing extra damage like almost all the time. So in hindsight, this is really, really good, right? And you can basically equip this with either Nicole, Rina, and even Lucy can use it because this is through quick assist, chain attack, defensive assist, and evasive assist. Basically, you switch an agent onto the field, it activates. So it's really, really freaking good. And whenever you consume energy with either Lucy, Rina, Nicole, or even Sukaku, it basically gives your squad 20% extra damage. So that's really, really freaking nice. And it's very universal, even though I don't know why you would want to switch this off to either Nicole or Lucy. Sukaku, I can kind of understand, but okay, so hear me out. That's the pros, right? So what are the cons here? Well, first off, this WEngine locks to support, which means only support agent can use it. Which means no other agents besides support can actually use this WEngine. Even though I don't know why you want to rip this off to Seth, but you do you. Second, it will cost you 80 pulls, not including pity, to actually grab it. Which means 80 pulls down the drain. You do have a 75% chance of winning the WEngine, so that's really, really good. But having said that, it's a very expensive WEngine that is very much replaceable in my opinion. Which Bashful Demon, Kaboom the Cannon, and the Vault, which gives the WEngine a run for its money, I'd say it's very hard to compete with. Now, personally, this is my Astra Yao. I know her attack's not up to cap, but just hear me out. So I am running Bashful Demons, which in turns give her a lot more attack, which grants me a free slot for energy regen for the 6th disc, which is pretty nice. But like I said, her WEngine is very much replaceable. Because if you look here at the 3 options that we have, besides Slice of Time, because that is really, really not great. Kaboom the Cannon works really well because of that extra energy regen. The Vault also works really well, and it also deals either damage, which is really nice. However, like I said, I went with Bash Demons because it gives out extra attack, and it gives out like an extra attack for all squad, which is pretty nice. So with all of that said, with all of the options that you have for Astra Yao, you would think, wow, she has a lot of good free-to-play WEngine options. Should I pull for M1? Well, not exactly. Let's look at her Mindscape first, shall we? So first off, she gets an all attribute resistant up to 6%, stacking up to 3 times, lasting 30 seconds, which makes your agent shreds 18% more damage when you're inflicting an attribute. And that's pretty good, like 18% is pretty good, right? And not just that, Astra Yao also gives out 1000 decibel, which basically means she can ultimate right away upon entering the stage, which is pretty damn good. And her ultimate also gives you a get out of jail free card for 60 seconds. So if you get attacked in those 60 seconds, you actually grants invulnerability for 1 whole seconds, which means you can get out, get in again, deal damage, ult again, and then gain the exact same stack again. So those are really, really good, right? the pros are really strong in this case. So what are the cons then? The cons must be really bad for people not to pull her M1. Well, that's exactly why, because first off, not only that you need 90 pulls, but you have to win 50-50, not including getting Astra, in order to actually get her M1. So if you lose two 50-50 in a row, that can set you back up to 30,000 polychromes. 28,800 to be more precise. And this is a very niche case as well, because not just that, other agents also has attribute resistance like Sokaku, Lycon, or Lighter, which in my opinion also does the same thing. And lastly, her ult is nice to have, but it's mostly situational. For towers, definitely. It is very much worth it when you're running up towers, because if you get hit once in the tower, you're basically, your HP basically gets ripped in half. Or mostly speedrun strat, like the one with Zhu Yuan or Miyabi, because every time they chain attack, they get an extra stack of whatever they have, which is very nice. But if you're not speedrunning it or you're not running towers, it's not very worth it to get her M1. So we all look at her pros and cons of her M1 and her WEngine. So what should you choose? Well, like I said before, neither, because they are both really cost heavily. They cost too much polychrome to invest in, and is only marginally better. And while yes, she does have one of the best M1, I would say, Mindscape in the game, but still, it is not worth it, because you can have this almost the same attributes with Rina M1. I apologize, but Rina M1 is kinda really busted, but I'm not gonna go in depth too much. Considering you can invest in more pools for different agents, it's just not worth it to pull Astra Yao. While, like I said, her WEngine can be equipped for other and future agents, it mostly works well with Astra, and that's the main issues. And on top of that, her free-to-play options are almost at equal with the WEngine. Well, unless you really want her hair to glow. Okay, we have looked at her WEngine and her Mindscape 1. So let's say you still really want to pull for either her M1 or her WEngine, and you could only choose one because you're not a pay-to-win slaps. So which one should you choose? So like I said, it all depends on your situation. If you don't have an alternative WEngine like Bashful Demons, The Vault, or Kaboom the Cannon, you should definitely grab her WEngine, because if all your free-to-play options are taken, you might as well go for the premium options. And her hair close, yay, that's great. And if you have a solid free-to-play options WEngine already lined up for her, and she's already well built, you might as well go 50-50 on Astra Yao. And if you lose that 50-50, well, you know who to blame. Or just abandon it all, because Eve is right around the corner. I really should have made this video a lot earlier. That sucks, man. So I hope that helps and clear out things. Or grab her M1 if you're trying real sweaty content like the towers, or I don't know, man. If you're dying too much, I guess, then you should probably grab her M1. But I guess that I hope that clears out all the questions relying on whether you should grab her WEngine or her Mindscape 1. I do hope you enjoy a shorter form of content, because like I said, a bigger video is in the work. Is about Anby and how her design is timeless, but I'm not going to go in depth too much about it. So please like and subscribe, all of those shenanigans. Wait for the longer videos, because this is kind of like a in between. So have a good day. I'm out. The Church of Bamboo bids you well.